Hey guys, long time no see. I'm just looking at the notes I posted last night and I'm realizing it's a whole section ahead. So if you were able to do it, I apologize because it looks like you guys left off on page 107 and my questions are about the next section. So I'll finish reading the chapter because I know Miss Brooks left off yesterday. And then we'll just do our best to jump back in and I promise tomorrow's notes will be okay and nothing will be held against you for today's notes. I'm sorry, I don't know how I got the questions mixed up. Alright, so she left off. If you are in, if you want to pause for a second and take a minute to open your text, we're on page 107 on the link, and I'm going to read in the book. So we only have a few pages left. So we left off at, it's like the third or fourth paragraph in. We decided to catch a bus home. I didn't feel like walking or trying to hitch a ride. Tuba left me sitting on the bench at the bus stop while he went to a gas station to buy some cigarettes. I was kind of sick to my stomach and sort of groggy. I was nearly asleep and I felt someone's hand on my forehead. I almost jumped out of my skin. Two-Bit was looking at me worriedly. "You feel okay? You're awful hot." "I'm all right," I said. And when he looked at me as if he didn't believe me, I got a little panicky. "Don't tell Derry, okay? Come on, Two-Bit. Be a buddy." "I'll be well by tonight. I'll take a bunch of aspirins." "All right," Two-Bit said reluctantly, "but Derry will kill me if you get really sick. And go ahead and fight anyway." Sorry, Stevie's trying to get in the room. "Hey, babe, can you take Steve?" She's like just scratching on the door. Okay. So Two-Bit doesn't want to lie for Ponyboy, but Ponyboy isn't feeling well. "All right, I'm okay," I said, getting a little angry, "and if you keep your mouth shut, Derry won't know a thing." "You know something?" Two-Bit said, as if we were riding home on the bus. "You think you get away with murder living..." Can you guys hear that? I'm gonna lose my mind. My wife is not in the room to let Stevie in. Hi, Steve. You just interrupted my whole YouTube video. This kid's gonna think I'm crazy. You wanna say hi? Come over here. I can't stand this dog. Take her. Any of you. Whoever wants her. Just drop it in the message. You know something Two-Bit said as we were riding home on the bus? "You think you could get away with murder living with a big brother and all, but Derry's stricter than your folks were, ain't he?" "Yeah," I said, "but they'd raised two boys before me. Derry hasn't." "You know, the only thing that keeps Derry from being a Soc is us." "I know," I said. I'd known for a long time in spite of not having much money. The only reason that Derry couldn't be a Soc was us. The gang, me and Soda. Derry was too smart to be a greaser. I don't know how I knew, I just did. I was sort of sorry. I was silent most of the way home. I was thinking about the rumble. I had a sick feeling in my stomach and it wasn't from being ill. It was the same kind of helplessness that I felt the night that Derry yelled at me for going to sleep in the lot. So Pony's definitely feeling anxious about the rumble. I think he's starting to feel like this is kind of beyond his control. And, you know, he has to go along with it because of who he is as a greaser. But it's not really like Ponyboy to want to fight and be violent. I had the same deathly fear that something was going to happen that none of us could stop. Ooh, so some foreshadowing here. Something else bad is going to happen. I can't imagine like how things could possibly be worse in his life right now, as his best friend is fighting for his life in the hospital. Dallas is hurt. He might get separated from his brothers. Lots of bad stuff, right? As we got off the bus, I finally said it. "Tonight, I don't like it one bit." Two-Bit pretended to not understand and never knew you to play chicken before a rumble. Not even when you was a little kid. I knew he was trying to make me mad, but I took the bait anyway. "I ain't chicken, Two-Bit Matthews, and you know it," I said angrily. "Ain't I a Curtis? Same as Soda and Derry." Two-Bit couldn't deny this, so I went on. "I mean, I just got an awful feeling that something's gonna happen." "Something is gonna happen. We're gonna stomp those Socia's guts, that's what." Two-Bit knew what I meant, but he doggedly pretended not to. He seemed to feel that if you said something was all right, it immediately was, no matter what. He said that way. He's been that way all his life. I don't expect he'll change. Soda Pop would have understood. He would have tried to figure it out together, but Two-Bit, he just ain't Soda. Not by a long shot. Cherry Valance was sitting in her Corvette by the vacant lot when we came by. Her long hair was pinned up, and in the daylight, she was even better looking. The Stingray was one tough car, a bright red one. It was so cool. "Hi, Ponyboy," she said. "Hi, Two-Bit." Two-Bit stopped. Apparently, Sherry had shown up there before during the week that Johnny and I had spent in Windricksville. "What's up, big times?" She tightened the strings in her ski jacket. They play your way, no weapons, fair deal, your rules." "Are you sure?" She nodded. "Randy told me, and he knows for sure." Two-Bit turned and started home. "Thanks, Cherry." "Ponyboy, stay a minute," Cherry said. I stopped and I went back to her car. "Randy's not going to show up to the Rumble." "Yeah," I said, "I know." "He's not scared, he's just sick of fighting." "Bob," she swallowed, and then went on quietly. "Bob was his best buddy since grade school." I thought of Soda and Steve. What if one of them saw the other killed? Would that make them stop fighting? No, I thought. Maybe it would make Soda stop, but not Steve. He'd go on hating and fighting. Maybe that was what Bob would have done if it had been Randy instead of him. "How's Johnny?" "Not so good," I said. "Will you go up to see him?" She shook her head. "No, I couldn't." "Why not?" I demanded. It was the least that she could do. It was her boyfriend who caused it all, and then I stopped. Her boyfriend. "I couldn't," she said in a quiet, desperate voice. "He killed Bob." Maybe Bob asked for it, I know he did, but I could never look at the person who killed him. You only knew his bad side. He could be sweet sometimes and friendly, but when he got drunk, it was that part of him that beat up Johnny. I knew it was Bob when you told me the story. He was so proud of his rings. Why do people sell liquor to boys? Why? I know there's law against it, but kids get it anyway. I can't go and see Johnny. I know I'm too young to be in love and all that, but Bob was something special. He wasn't just any boy. He had something that made people follow him, something that marked him different, maybe a little better than the crowd. You know what I mean? I did. Cherry saw the same things in Dallas. That's why she was afraid to see him, afraid of loving him. I knew what she meant, all right. But she also meant that she wouldn't go see Johnny because he had killed Bob. "That's okay," I said sharply. It was Johnny's fault that Bob was a booze hound and Cherry went for... It wasn't Johnny's fault that Bob was a booze hound and Cherry went for boys who were bound for trouble. I wouldn't want you to see him. You're a traitor to your own kind and not loyal to us. Do you think your spying for us makes up for the fact that you're sitting there in a Corvette while my brother drops out of school to get a job? Don't you ever feel sorry for us. Don't you ever try to give us handouts that make you feel high and mighty about it." I started to turn and walk off, but something in Cherry's face made me stop. I was ashamed. I can't stand to see girls cry. She wasn't crying, but she was close to it. "I wasn't trying to give you charity, Ponyboy. I only wanted to help. I liked you from the start. The way you talked, you're a nice kid, Ponyboy. Do you realize how scarce nice kids are nowadays? Wouldn't you try to help me if you could?" "I would. I'd help her and Randy both if I could." "Hey," she said suddenly. "Can you see the sunset real good from the west side?" Last page. She blinked, startled, and then smiled. "Real good." "You can see it good from the east side too," I said quietly. "Thanks, Ponyboy." She smiled through her tears. "You dig okay?" She had green eyes, and she went on walking home slowly. Okay, so like I said, none of the questions on today's notes had to do with ending that section of the text. I really, really apologize. Some of you kept reading, I guess, and started to submit your notes, and I appreciate you. So we should be at the end now of chapter 8. So all you really have to do is that exit ticket, and I will not grade numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. My head is all over the place. I know you guys have been really patient and giving me a lot of space this week, and I really appreciate it. My family is definitely going through a lot right now. So thank you. I wish I was at school with you. I wish I could, talk to you. I lean on you guys so much in these moments in my life. So I love you and I miss you, and thank you again for being patient and letting me mess things up. All right, I'll talk to you later.